All right, guys. This is for my brothers and sisters in ECOWAS, in Africa as a whole, all right? Especially those of you that are struggling with information about Julius Maada and what has actually happened in Sierra Leone over the years. So this live is for you. I want to walk you through what happened in the June 24th, 2023 elections. Normally, I would be playing lots of videos to back up the evidence so you'll see exactly what it is. But what I want to do in this situation, as it is right now, is to just walk you through everything that actually happened. All right. So you could have a view of what transpired on June 24th, 2023. Because I cannot be able to do all of this in one scoop. It's not possible. But what I want to do for you today is to just explain to you, and I want you guys to understand across Africa really who Julius Maada is. This, I would have taken it from 1992, but I'm going to go to that. I just want to bring you guys where we at right now because I think it's very important. I've listened to a lot of our brothers and sisters, especially on TikTok, that have been trying, to talk about the Julius Maada who is now the new chairman of ECOWAS, and how he himself is illegal because he did not win the elections in his own country on June 24th, 2023. There's enough evidence of that. The election was rigged, the election was stolen, and up till today, the opposition leader, who was the flag bearer of the opposition party, is still asking for his victory. So that is what is currently happening. It's been 2 years. June 24th, last month, marked 2 years after the elections, because the elections was on June 24th, 2023. All right. But that election was stolen from the people up till this day. We don't have the results. I know some of you would be saying, it's only Sierra Leone that would tolerate such a nonsense because we've seen what's happening in Kenya. We see what is happening in Liberia. We see how other parts of Africa, the people stand up, right? Unfortunately, in Sierra Leone, rather unfortunately, it is not, I'm not giving the people of Sierra Leone a pass, absolutely and outrightly. However, what has happened is in Sierra Leone right now, we don't have an opposition, which is very clear. What we have is a group of oligarchs that have come together. The opposition is gone because it's only in Sierra Leone where the opposition, not the opposition leader, I want you guys to separate the flag bearer from the actual opposition itself. They all belong to the same party. But the flag bearer who contested the elections, Dr. Samura Kamara, he is the only person that stands alone saying that he wants his presidency to be restored because he knows that he won the elections. The facts are there to bear. 71% of the IRF forms clearly shows that he won the elections. So I want you to understand that he is by himself with the people of Sierra Leone fighting for his victory. But the executive of his political party say no, they're not going to stand with him. They have moved on. They said we won the elections, but we want to move on. Everything I'm giving you guys is the facts. I want you guys to have a clear picture of Sierra Leone's situation, so when you're doing your videos, you're doing your lives, you're talking about the illegitimacy of Julius Maada. I want you guys to understand exactly what it is. That's why I said I would have started from 1992, but I'm going to leave that. I will walk my way back. But I want to bring you guys current as it is. Everybody across Africa, the international community, everybody should understand this. Sierra Leoneans are still asking for the results of the June 24th, 2023 elections. That is a sacrosanct fact, and that has to be known, and which is why I'm doing this live to educate you guys on this. All right. So what happened? June 24th, 2023, people went out to vote. I can tell you this again. Remember, there were lots of challenges going into the elections. Tons of challenges. Registration problems. These guys did not want people to register because they already had the elections mapped out with the opposition to sell their victory. So everything they did possible to suppress the people from actually even registering so that they can go and vote. The voter ID card was a shit show. If you guys ever see, I want you to Google Sierra Leone's voter ID cards June 24th, 2023. Like I said, I would only play one video on this live because I don't want it to be about the videos. I really want to talk to you all and give you all the information that you need, and you can do your own research. Or you can follow through on my YouTube page, depending on where you're watching me, or if it's Facebook. So you can go through my page to have a clear understanding of where we've been. All right. But again, leading up to the elections, a lot of voter suppression took place, right? Voter suppression, because the opposition already made way for Julius Maada to rig the elections, to steal the elections. But don't forget, there's a crucial part in this. It is the ECSL, Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone. The commissioner's name is Mohamed Kone. If you guys go again and Google Mohamed Kone, Mohammed Konneh. He is the electoral commissioner for Sierra Leone. He is the one who facilitated the rigging of the elections. And up till this day, like I said again, if you visit the ECSL's page, if you Google ECSL Sierra Leone, you would see when you visit the page, when you go there, instead of seeing a disaggregated result, which shows you polling station by polling station. So, for example, in Sierra Leone, we have 11,182 polling stations. We don't have the breakdown of the results. What the commissioner did, begin, the results came from State House, from Julius Maada to him for him to read that result. What he did was just said, Julius Maada has 1.5 million votes. As an example, I'm giving you guys, right? And again, I want you guys to do the research. I'm saying all of this. I don't want to show it to you. I want you to do the research, pull it up yourself, have the information. I'm giving you 100% facts here, okay? So you look, you'll see. If you go to Liberia's website, Liberia's ECSL, you would see the disaggregated data by polling station, by county in Liberia. Very transparent process. Every vote was accounted for. But in Sierra Leone, no. This man is only giving us the bulk figure. Where is the disaggregated data? It's been 2 years, remember. Up until this day, Sierra Leoneans don't have the results of the elections. So that is what I want you guys to understand. Julius Maada, this is not his first election that he has rigged. In 1996, he rigged the elections again. There is the video for confession. I will do a separate live on that one. That is how I'm going to walk my way back. But for now, where we at, I want you guys to understand that the ECOWAS chairman himself is illegal in his own country. He does not have the mandate of the people. According to the Constitution of Sierra Leone, it clearly states in Section 5, subsection 2, it says, through this constitution, sovereignty belongs to the people, and the government derives its legitimacy, its authority, and its power from the people. So when you read that, how does the government derive its legitimacy from the people? It is through elections. The people vote. When the people vote, they count the votes, right? That is how elections should be. But what we've seen in Africa now, we've seen across Africa, most African countries, a lot of them, with the exclusion of countries like Botswana that we've seen, or like what Liberia did, or like Senegal, or like Ghana, what we've seen is a few oligarchs. They think they are the elites in society. They feel like they have what it takes, or they have the authority and the power to make decisions for millions of citizens. So the people don't vote no more. The votes of the people does not count, even when they do. It is only a selected few that make the decisions. We saw what happened in Nigeria as well. Similarly, it's what happened in Sierra Leone on June 24th, 2023, when Mohamed Konneh announced as the electoral commissioner the results in favor of Julius Maada. Internationally, I want you to visit Carter Center. You know, Ambassador Humes, who was a former ambassador to Sierra Leone, was one of the, observers who came to represent the Carter Center. Carter, Carter, the Carter Center. He came to Sierra Leone. They observed the elections. The interviews on BBC made it very clear that the election was rigged. The process was not transparent, statistical inconsistencies. The European Union themselves, all of these people made it clear that the election was rigged. The American ambassador outgoing, Ambassador David Reimer, condemned the elections. Researchers across the world, an example is a professor from Germany, uh, Simeon Primus, Simon Primus, Simonprimus. He did a video explaining All of these videos are on my YouTube page. If you go through my YouTube page, guys, there's plethora of information. You can learn a lot about what's actually happening in Sierra Leone, all right? All of these videos are there. These people condemned the elections. It is categorically clear that the elections were stolen. There's no argument about this. Even the opposition themselves, they know it was stolen, but they said, we're going to move on. They've been making some really stupid claims, some of which they say, oh, because when Julius Maada, after he rigged the elections, he called the winning candidate, Dr. Samora Kamara, for them to have a conversation about the elections because there was an impasse. After the election was rigged, the opposition did not go to parliament, they did not go to council, so these were the positions that were taken. The APC, again, as APC, or People's Congress Party, is the opposition that actually won the elections. They boycotted government, so they did not participate in government. So that was how they came with the agreement for national unity. And this was a consultative conference that was held for 3 days, October 16th to the 18th in 2023. Remember, the elections was in June. So July, August, September, the whole time up until October, APC party decided not to participate in governance. So, of course, the international community, American ambassador, all of these people, they supported having this conversation, which is again the ANU, Agreement for National Unity. The Agreement for National Unity, they came up with 8 resolutions from there. Out of the 8 resolutions, resolution 3 was the most important one. And that was where the tripartite was born. So this was a body that was set up to investigate what actually transpired in the June 24th, 2023 elections. And they had to make recommendations. And their recommendations were implementable and actionable. And amongst the 84 plus recommendations that they made, both in the convergent and divergent, because they had 2 sides to the report, some of the other sides, the SLPP, who rigged the elections, Sierra Leone People's Party, that is the party that Julius Maada belongs to, they did not agree with the fact that Dr. Samura Kamara, who is the flag bearer of the APC party that won the elections, they did not agree that he won the elections. So that is why you have convergent and divergent. So convergent, we agree. Divergent, we don't agree on these sections. However, there were 80 recommendations that everybody agreed on. Now, amongst those 80 plus, 84 plus recommendations, Dr. Samura Kamara should have been reinstated as the president because he won the elections as of June 24th, 2023. But he was deprived of his presidency. They went into the agreement for national unity, hoping that the recommendations that would come from the tripartite committee, tripartite, so 3 parts, right? This tripartite committee constituted of the illegal government currently, the SLPP, that where Julius Maada belongs. The APC had their own people in this tripartite committee and the international community. So it was total of 9, but it was tripartite. So it's 3, right? Tripartite, the Holy Spirit, when like you have the Holy Trinity and, so tripartite, 3 parts to it. I want you guys to understand that. Now, the tripartite report came out and it was absolutely clear that Dr. Samura Kamara, out of the 71% of the result reconciliation forms, what is a result reconciliation form? These are the forms that are taken from each polling center where everybody's result is tabulated. So every political party from each polling center in around Sierra Leone, they know how many votes they had from that polling center. So that is the RRF forms, the result reconciliation forms. 71% of that was collected by the APC, that is the opposition party, who actually won the elections, but say some of them say, we don't want this victory, we're moving on. I hope you guys are understanding this, right? Dr. Samura Kamara is still standing on his ground that he won the elections, and he has called on ECOWAS, because that was the recommendation, called on ECOWAS for them to reinstate him as the president or have a rerun elections. If you go to Dr. Samura Kamara's page on Facebook, or if you look through my videos again, you'll see this video that I'm talking about, where after October, when the tripartite committee after July 2024, when the tripartite committee came up with their findings, it was July 2024, July 19th or so, 2024. when they came up with the findings, Dr. Samar Kamara gave a speech. And in that speech, it was sacrosanctly clear. And he made it clear that at the end of the day, I won the elections and I want ECOWAS to come and reinstate me as the president or call for a rerun elections since the ECSL, the body that is responsible for the tabulation of results, does not have one. And this is something that they don't have. Even if they have it, they have suppressed Sierra Leoneans for 2 years. They've held on to these results. Sierra Leonean people don't know where the results is of that election. I want my ECOWAS brothers to understand this. My brothers from the Sahel, I want you guys to understand this. I want you guys to have an understanding of what is happening because a lot of times the information does not flow because the media in Sierra Leone is corrupt. They don't talk about things like these. The opposition is non-existent. Now Julius Marabio is just walking on the opposition. The parliament, they're good for nothing. They are just they're like dogs for Marabio. It is a matter of just taking them by the leash, pulling them, and taking them wherever he wants to go. There is no opposition in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a failed state. I want you guys to understand this. The civil society organizations are non-existent anymore. You only hear them when it's time for them to share some money from their donors, the Western world, the international community. You don't hear them talk or advocate for Sierra Leoneans. You don't hear them talk about advocating for their human rights. Even when they do, it's a facade. So Sierra Leone is a failed state. So it is only all these other people versus the citizens themselves. That is the situation we have. And that is why I want to let you all know that Julius Maada is illegally occupying his presidency in Sierra Leone. He is not our president. He is not the president of Sierra Leone. He lacks the legitimacy. He lacks the authority. We don't know what game was played at ECOWAS for them to hand over the chairmanship to him because he was denied the chairmanship last year. Why? Because at the time ongoing, we know and they knew that Sierra Leone's democracy was shaky. So Ahmed Bola Tinubu stayed twice as the chairman of ECOWAS. Apparently, we heard that it should have been Diomaye Faye of Senegal for him to have had the chairmanship because they should have skipped Sierra Leone again. But no, this time they gave it to Julius Maada. I don't know what promises he made, but the fact is, he is illegal. We don't know if they said, okay, well, Sierra Leone has resolved the issue, if that is the message that is going out there. Because again, that is why, like myself, we've been pushing the presidential candidate who won the elections, Dr. Samora Kamara, to say, what are we doing? There is an ongoing political transition. When is this going to happen? When is Julius Maada going to hand over power to you? Time is of the essence. We've been patient for 2 years. So that is a conversation that is there on the other hand, right? For them to reinstate him and give him his presidency so he becomes the president in Sierra Leone because Julius Maada is illegal. I want my brothers in ECOWAS to understand this. Now, I'm going to play this video for you. It gives you an insight into what is happening. Like I said, this is the only video I would play because I really want to talk to you all so I can share with you exactly what is actually happening. The June 24th, 2023 elections was rigged. Sierra Leoneans tried and we were patient. They went into a national an agreement for national unity because we didn't want the country to erupt. We're tired of people dying for simple votes, for a simple democratic process. Why should people be dying for democracy? Why don't we be civilized? Why don't we act as human beings for God's sake? We have to kill ourselves every time in elections. So Sierra Leoneans tried to avoid that scenario because Dr. Samura Kamara, the presidential candidate who won the elections for the APC, has enormous control of the people of Sierra Leone. He can call them today and say, I want you guys to protest. I want us all to protest for the results. And the people would come out. And Julius Marabio, you all know, has been killing Sierra Leoneans. When they protest, it kills them. The Makeni massacre, Parebaro prison massacre. So Dr. Samura Kamara says, okay, this time I don't want nobody to die. Very civilized, right? I don't want nobody to die just because of this democracy. We've been civilized. We've come a long way. If you guys know much about Sierra Leone, we had the brutal rebel war. These guys were splitting pregnant women's belly open. They were arguing if it's a boy or girl. We saw that in Sierra Leone. It happened. The most gruesome and atrocious crimes were committed in Sierra Leone during the civil war of 1991 to 2002. So Sierra Leoneans are like, we don't want to go back there. And that is what Julius Marabio and co. they're capitalizing on. And unfortunately, a segment of the opposition that are sold out to Julius Maada, they don't remember these pasts that Sierra Leone has gone through. And so the people of Sierra Leone are saying, we don't want to go back there. They're not cowards now. One day you guys would hear Sierra Leone is going to erupt. And it's going to be dangerously bloody. I can guarantee you all of that because Sierra Leoneans are people that are very patient. But when they lose their patience, they can go berserk. And this time around, it's going to be worse than what happened the first time. Because the way things are going in Sierra Leone, if the people erupt, we might lose a whole segment of that population. We might lose tribes in that country. We might lose regions in that country. That's how bad it is. Again, tribalization of institutions is something that is very pervasive across Sierra Leone. So Sierra Leone is a keg, it's a time bomb that is waiting to explode. And that is why international partners should do the right thing to reinstate the winner of the June 24th, 2023 elections, who is no other person but Dr. Samura Kamara. So I want to show you guys this video so you guys can just have something else other than me just talking the whole time. I want you guys to listen to this. All right.
The Commission says Julius Maada won the 2023 presidential election, narrowly capturing victory with 56% of the valid votes. That is just above the 55% needed to avoid a runoff. But national and international observer missions say there are concerns about how the figure was tallied due to a lack of transparency and restricted access to the vote counting process.
Things became a little bit awry and opaque. A number of observer missions could not be able to do the collation as they wish to. A number of national elections watch observers at the tally centers equally called attention to access to the process. There were access to observe in some areas, in some regions, because regional tally centers were done, whilst in others, access was very limited.
National Election Watch, or NEW, has been observing Sierra Leone polls since the end of the 11-year civil war in 2002. The group says none of the presidential candidates met the minimum threshold to secure a win. It also questioned the Electoral Commission's voter turnout figures and rejection of ballots it said were inaccurate. The opposition party, All People's Congress, claimed its candidate, Dr. Samura Kamara, won the vote, sparking violence outside its headquarters. Audu Kamara says he lives nearby.
So the force.
Police used force to disperse the people. They started firing tear gas into the crowd. I tried to get closer to see what was happening, but things got tense and the security personnel started firing live bullets into the crowd, so I quickly left the scene.
They start for fire live bullets, so Mr. Butkafo left the scene.
Political analysts say campaign messages further deepened existing divides.
Both political parties, both of their candidates were appealed in it. If you go to the south and the southeast, people were using that tribal sentiment of, oh, if you don't vote for us, these people are coming against you. And if you go to the northwest, people are going to tell you that, oh, you see, we are in opposition and see how we've been treated.
As some families mark the Eid al-Adha, they urge the newly sworn-in president to address the nation for unity.
Come on radio, come on TV, do jingles, try and preach peace. Tomorrow is another day. The other elections will be in 5 years' time. So let's try and deal with the situation we have now in terms of moving the country forward.
Meanwhile, Sierra Leoneans wait to see what legal steps the opposition parties will take and hope to come out united. Sana Anutot for VOA News, Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Hi guys, I wanted you all to see that. Okay, those are what you heard. There were some of the folks that were even asking for us to move on to 2028. But I want you guys to see that there was this agreement for national unity that was set up, and how that was supposed to path the way moving forward for the SLPP to hand over power to Dr. Samura Kamara. But of course, they failed at this point. And I want you guys to understand that that is the reality of what is actually happening in Sierra Leone at this moment. And the people of Sierra Leone are fed up, they're sick and tired. Poverty is rampant. The high rates of drugs, the Kush epidemic. I'm sure you guys have all seen the reports from Sky News about the Kush drugs problems in Sierra Leone at this point. And because, again, the people within this Julius Maada camp are responsible for the distribution of these drugs, this kush, that is ravaging the young people in Sierra Leone. And a lot of people are even saying that, this kush, thing has been used to suppress, the youth so that they could not, exercise their civic responsibilities in Sierra Leone. So make drugs available to them, and then they become foolish. And at the end of the day, they cannot even stand up for themselves. So I want you guys to see this news by Sky News, and I'll take it from there. I'm going to share this with you so you guys would see exactly what it is, okay?
Devastating lives all across West Africa, and the UK is thought to be one of its main importers. Kush is highly addictive, but also affordable, making it irresistible to people in poverty. Well, the drug has gripped communities across West Africa. Our Africa correspondent, Yusuf El-Bagir, has spoken to some at the centre of the crisis in Sierra Leone. And a warning, a report shows people suffering from malnutrition, which you may find distressing.
It's a temporary escape with a brutal come down.
Kush looks like marijuana, but can be 25 times stronger than fentanyl, making zombies out of men and women in Sierra Leone. This synthetic drug is creating an underworld in plain sight and rapidly spreading across West Africa.
Kush is such an issue here that there's even a drug den under this main road.
We're suffering, but all the thing we tell you now, we need help. All is it, we need help. We need help. Look at my condition.
The conditions of the people here are as haunting as their home, a den of deprivation and disease. There's this shared sense of pain and entrapment, and everyone coming in and out is connected through their addiction to Kush. And they've all told us that they want to quit, but as long as they stay here, they'll never break free. Elizabeth is 24 years old and pregnant with her second child, but can't bring herself to give up Kush as long as she stays here. Elizabeth, does it feel like a risk to smoke Kush while you're pregnant? Why are you taking the risk?
I keep smoking it because it makes me forget about my worries and challenges.
The numbness of the high has worn off, and she can't hold back her pain. These are not the fringes of Freetown, but a place for people of all ages, caught in the clutches of Kush.
This drug is evil. This drug is bad. I don't know why they gave me this drug in this country. Our brothers are suffering. Some are dying. Some have sores on their feet. We don't know. This drug brings destruction. Look at me. Just because of this drug, I have sores on my feet.
There's a shelter among shacks for teenagers like Ibrahim, whose Kush-induced sores have eaten away at their limbs. Some are paralyzed by infection and malnutrition, lying in corners where others have died before. The rest are debilitated. Does it hurt? Abu Bakr is only 14 years old and was handed his first Kush joint at 12. He's been fighting for his life ever since. When was the last time you walked? 10. Their limbs are literally ravaged by this. They've got these huge open sores that they have to keep washing with disinfectant. They can't even walk. and yet they're still scrambling to get cash to buy more kush to smoke. Are they?
All right, guys. So I wanted to show you that. This is Julius Maada, Sierra Leone. So when you go on his Twitter page, you see all this laborious postings that they're doing about this and that. That is Sierra Leone for you. Kush epidemic. This man does not have what it takes to fix that country. So what they've done is to supply drugs to the young people in that country, and they're falling for it. The young people are falling for that. They say, oh, well, when I take these drugs, I forget all about my problems. They forget that, yes, the high might last for a few, but once the high leaves you, you come back down to reality. And that is what is actually happening. It is very crucial for all of you guys to join us and join Sierra Leoneans to ask for our freedoms. The people of Sierra Leone are not free. The people of Sierra Leone are in bondage. The people of Sierra Leone are slaves. They cannot speak up. They'll be arrested. They'll be killed. They'll be murdered. We've seen it. We are in exile. Myself, I cannot go back home. If I go back home today, I'll be arrested today. Why? Because of stuff of what I'm doing. This life that I'm doing, speaking up against them. They don't want that. And we've seen this trend across Africa. We are losing our rights slowly. East Africa, we've seen the eruptions going on there. We see Tanzania, we see Uganda, we see all of these countries. The people are losing their rights. Oppositions are being arrested. Sierra Leone, what the opposition has done, except for Dr. Samura Kamara, they wave the white flag. They're like, come do whatever you want to do with us. They've given up. So Julius Maada is having his pass, is having his way. But don't forget, remember this. This is just a part one of series that I'll be doing to expose to you guys exactly what is actually happening in Sierra Leone. So share this amongst the African brothers and sisters. Let them know exactly what happened in Sierra Leone and what is actually happening. Julius Maada is illegally occupying the office of the presidency in Sierra Leone. He is not a president. He is not recognized. He is the only president, as a matter of fact, in recent times that has not had an inauguration. Inauguration. I'm not talking about swearing in. There is swearing in and there is inauguration, the ceremony itself, where you can invite other heads of states to come to witness your inauguration. Julius Maada is the only one that has not had an inauguration. You guys remember, even the most recent was Ghana's president, John Dramani Mahama. He recently had his inauguration. I think it was December last year or January earlier this year, because I think the elections was in December and January this year. John Mahama was inaugurated. I'm not talking about swearing in where the Chief Justice swears you in as the president. That's one part. But I'm talking about like an inauguration ceremony where dignitaries from all over the world are called. Julius Maada is the only president that does not have that inauguration. I want all of these things to be known to our ECOWAS brothers and sisters so you understand who it is, who he is. But like I said, I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to take you guys from 1992 to 1996, when in 1996 alone, Julius Maada committed 2 crimes. But you all would ask, what happened? How did you guys allow this bad guy to come back and become a president again in 2028? I will tell you, it was the former president who played the game and gave amnesty to Julius Maada because he was banned from politically, engaging in any political activities in Sierra Leone. But Anes Bai Koroma, the former president of Sierra Leone, who is now exiled, he has been banished by Julius Maada, who we heard is moved to Ghana. Apparently, he was in Nigeria the whole time, but apparently he's moved to Ghana. We don't know because they made up this whatever is going on with them with the coup and nonsense and all of that. But he's banished from Sierra Leone. He's exiled by Julius Maada. He is not in Sierra Leone. Why? Because he played dirty games to allow Julius Maada to participate in a democracy again, even though he was banned by Tijan Kaba, former President Tijan Kaba. There is a video at United Nations where he made it very clear. But like I said, I don't want to convolute this. I just want you all to know that the current chairman of ECOWAS himself is illegal. I see a lot of my brothers in East Africa, South Africa, West Africa struggling to put their materials together. That's why I wanted to do this, so you guys can see exactly and know exactly how illegal this man is. The election was rigged. Go check the ECSL's website. There is no disaggregated data. Other countries, when you have elections, you would have a breakdown of every voter's vote from every polling station in that country. Not in Sierra Leone. We don't have it. We have a bulk figure. You have 1.5 million, as an example. The other person has 1.1 million. That's what it is. I'm giving you this information to make it easy on you. If you want to see more of this information, you can Google do your own research, but I wanted to create a pathway for you to be able to see and find this information. All right. So to all my brothers and sisters in East Africa, like I said, this is what I'll continue to do for you. I'll let you know who Julius Maada is so you can understand. I'll take you through some of the assassinations, the killings that have occurred in the country, the human rights abuses that have occurred. You can look at the United States Department's, reports that comes out every year that talks about all the abuses. And you will see Sierra Leone, just like most of the African countries. Look at what is happening in Togo. All of these places, the human rights abuses, it's packed. So Julius Maada is since 1992, he has been killing Sierra Leoneans. Yes, you would say Sierra Leoneans are cowards. Sierra Leoneans are, some of them are very stupid people to even allow, again, goes back to the former president, to have allowed Julius Maada to participate in a democracy with everything they did in 1992, the assassinations and killings, the extrajudicial killing when he overthrew, because that was the first time it was part of a coup d'etat. They killed, the people like Bambe Kamara, Yaya, all of these Lieutenant Colonel, Yaya Toure, and all of these people that were killed, Kula Samba, women, they killed them. Their bodies were they used acid to wreck their bodies. Julius Maada was part of all of that. In 1996, he rigged the elections. In 1996, he overthrew Strasser, who was the head of state during the 1992 coup. All of that. But I'm going to go into all those stuff in depth for you guys over the next few weeks as part of democracy and its education, so you guys would be aware of who he is. This is the fourth industrial revolution. Information should not be kept. We should share so everybody understands. But again, we're calling you all to stand in solidarity with the people of Sierra Leone, stand in solidarity with Dr. Samora Kamara, who is the man that has been violated at this point, because the international community keeps telling him one thing, that he's going to be reinstated, but we don't know what is happening. He's telling us we should have faith and pray. And we are saying, no, we want to know, where are we with the ongoing political transition? It's been 2 years. We've been patient. We don't want a country to erupt. We don't want another brutal rebel war in Sierra Leone. That is why we are practicing democracy. Therefore, the voices of the people should take ultimate win. When the people vote, count their votes. That's what's happening. So Julius Maada is illegal. Okay, he's illegal. He's not a president, and he should not have been the chairman of ECOWAS. But I know the people of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, they are ready. They're on standby. They know what to do to protect their country, and they will do the right thing for themselves. But to my brothers in the Sahel, AES, across Africa, across the world, that did not know about the June 24th, 2023 elections, just want you all to know these are the facts. You can visit my Twitter page, and you can visit my YouTube page that you're watching this on, and you'll be able to find information. This is my Twitter page here, just in case you want to know. This is what my Twitter page, looks like here, and you can visit and be able to, gather more information and learn. This is what my Twitter page looks like. I have tons of material, tons of information that you can learn from, and you can take it from there. So I want you all to know, just visit this page. I have tons of information. You can learn a lot from some of the information that I share. Okay. But again, this is what my X page looks like. You can join me there and see what it is. You can follow this YouTube page, and make sure you go through my videos, and you'll see exactly, everything, that I've been talking about. Yes. What's up, Sad? All right, all right. So that is the reality on the ground, okay? And I want you guys to know that, and that is why I'm sharing this with you. So without much ado, I'm going to leave it right here. You guys enjoy yourselves, share, and share with other Africans to get this information. But like I said, I'm going to go back all the way to 1992 and take it from there, so you guys can know exactly who Julius Maada is, okay? And the havoc that he has caused, the lives that he has wrecked, the destruction that he has caused behind him. This guy should be tried by the ICC, and he should be prosecuted. And I know Mr. Karim Khan, currently the United States government, has put a ban on the officials of the ICC, but they're doing a phenomenal work that is helping the people of Africa. I know it got banned because of the Israel situation, but I want the United States governments to remember that there are countries and people in Africa that need the services of the ICC, and we would like, for them to take action so that the right thing could be done. Julius Maada should be prosecuted. He deserves it. Like most of the African leaders, we filed all those cases with the ICC. The evidences are there. They've seen the assassinations, the killings, and everything. But the ICC was very slow, to take action. But again, the current ECOWAS chairman, Julius Maada, is illegally occupying the office of the presidency. He's not a president. We are asking ECOWAS, he's the chairman of ECOWAS. But of course, how can he take action against himself to remove himself, right? That's ironical. But we are asking ECOWAS as an institution, because again, you have the commission of ECOWAS, Mr. Toure, Mr. Bajang and all these people, the chairman, the ECOWAS, the ECOWAS commission chairman, who is Mr. Ali Toure, to take the right action and remove Julius Maada and reinstate Dr. Samura Kamara, because that was what we had the tripartite committee recommendation set up for. All right. So, guys, I want to leave it right here. I hope this is good information for you all. And I'll come again at some other point to break it down for you guys. All right. Bye bye, everybody.